Yo, 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 what's up? This is coming from Judge Innovation Girls in the Peach Capital of the state. That fits right in that thing right there. Woo, woo. Yo, 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 what's up? This is coming from Judge Innovation Girls in the Peach Capital of the state, baby. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, and then we're gonna get up after it. Oh, we got two people on here. Give it a little bit. Give it a little bit. Then I'm gonna go after it. Just doing a little housekeeping. Y'all hang tight. We'll give a few more minutes. How many minutes? Look, it's always a way to spit it out. 3 minutes. So, 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'm gonna get after it. I'm trying to be on here for about 30 minutes. I can say that every time, and then next thing you know, we end up being on here for a daggone hour. So, we'll try to do 30 minutes. If it gets longer than that, as long as it's productive, I'll keep after it. What's up? SS, what's up, strawberry shortcake? Is that like the game or like the toy? A little bit of housekeeping. There's duck feathers everywhere. Oh, we up to 10. Want to get 5 minutes. 5 mementos. I'm gonna start talking. Start talking what we got going on. Do a little bit of housekeeping. A little bit of housekeeping. Try to keep stuff picked up so it don't get crazy. My man, it's your boy T-Roy. All right, 30 seconds. 30-second warning. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm fixing to get jiggy with it. Fixing to get after it. 30 seconds. What are you doing today, Troy? Like I said, I'm just doing a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll get up after it. All right, 10 seconds. All right, so check this out, boys and girls. Today is Monday. Just working and watching. Working and watching. Well, I appreciate you, man. You are a frequent flyer. I appreciate it. All right, so few little things. Got the new controller, the new handheld for the Terminator, all right? I got the new handheld in. You guys seen that the other day, right? Got the new handheld in, all right? Well, I plugged this up, and I plugged this one up, and this one didn't come on. I appreciate you, man. I plugged this one up, and this one didn't come on. I was saying, man, what in the world is going on with this thing? So, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you first, then I'm gonna show you. So, no power, nothing come on, right? So I said, there's no way I got two bad controllers. It just ain't happening. I mean, stranger things have happened, but I promise you that probably ain't it. But I mean, things has happened, and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. So I take and cut off the factory loom on the wiring harness from Holley. Not the loom that I put on, but the factory loom, right? And I started tracing the wire back, and on the female side of this plug that goes into the harness, what's up, Chrissy? The female side, the wire in there, you see how that weather pack is made? I had two wires. I had a black wire and an orange wire that was not seated into the weather plug. So from Holley, so their female plug in their harness, that shrink wrap was all the way up here. So I cut the shrink wrap, or cut their wire loom to see anything, to test for power. I had power and I had ground, but I didn't have it on this end. The plug had came out. I don't know why, but it did. So I took a pin, like a back pin, probed it, pushed it out, fixed the pin, stick it back in there, plugged it up, turned the power on, Yahtzee, had power. So I called Holley and I said, this brand new LCD screen that you guys sent me, would you like me to return this? Because this wasn't the problem, it was your wiring harness that was bad. And I took pictures and I said, I'll email it to you. And he said, no, just put it in your box. You might need it later on another one. I was like, you sure? I'll send it back to you. I promise you. I don't need it. No, we're good. I'm like, okay, big dog. So I got it. So, and I don't mind sending it back. I really don't. I don't mind sending it back. I really don't. So the next thing is this. So the next thing on this Holley system is this part number right here. 534-20, sensor intake air. So this goes into, where does this go to? The cold air intake. Took me a second. This goes into the cold air intake. This is the manifold atmosphere temperature sensor. That's what this is. So that's good. So when I build the cold air intake, I can just put this thread pitch on a bung, weld it into the cold air intake, and that's that. This MAP sensor, air temperature sensor, part number 554-120, this right here is supposed to plug into the intake. Well, there's no place for this intake. I ordered it anyway because I needed it. And there's supposed to be O-rings on that too. So there's no place for this in the intake because this is a Terminator, or this is a Titan Texas speed intake, but there is 3 1/8" ports in the bottom at the very back underneath. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a barb fitting, a 90-degree 1/8" barb fitting, and I'm going to run a vacuum line from there to the computer, and I'm gonna get 1 bar of MAP off of the computer instead of using this. So they said that will be a better reading to read it, to let the ECM read it than the sensor read it. So that's what we're gonna do on that. So that's that. Next thing is I got the air conditioner lines. Let me back this bad boy up. So I got these AC lines. These are the ones from Vintage Air, and they are cut to, they are universal. So this end's already on. The other side has to be crimped, right? So I have hose. This was not in the kit because the guy ordered the wrong kit. So I had to buy these extra. Size 6, size 8, and size 10. So it also has all the fittings, and it also has all the O-rings, and it has the parts list and the instructions. So now, on these fittings, they have to be crimped like this. They have to be crimped. Well, I'm going to order the crimping tool online so I can crimp my own lines here in house, because that goes on there like so, and then if it has to be, this is a straight fitting, so it really don't matter on this one, because this one's a 90. This is straight, so it doesn't matter. But the ones that are 45 and all crazy, if I have to put them on there and clock them at a certain degree, they have to be crimped there, because if I just put it on there, you're not gonna be able to twist this line. You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. I don't care who you are, you ain't gonna do it. So that's that. And then the other switch that I needed, this thing had a binary switch. And since it's a LS platform, he says that it needs to be, the kit that he ordered was 67 to 72 C10 with a stock Chevrolet small block. He didn't order one for an LS platform. So therefore, an LS platform needs a male. Quick question. If a guy wanted to so it needed a male trinary switch, which is part number 11086-Victor Uranus Sam. All right, quick question. If a guy wanted you to do some work for them, how long is your wait? What kind of work? That's kind of broad question. All right, let's show you what I got going on. Also, I ordered this hose too. Give it to me, girl. Spit on it. So I needed this hose, 3/4 by 4 by 90 by 5/8 by 38 inches. So this part here has a bend already in it that fits the factory water pump, and then it goes right there. Yeah, Troy, just email me. Hey, look, and here's something else. Email, let me see. I had a business card a while ago. What do I do with it? Hold tight. There she is. All right, look here. There you go, Troy. You got that, big dog? There's the email address. All right. So, what's up, Ray? So, just email me. I noticed I hadn't been getting no emails from my Gmail account, which is the shop's email. I noticed I hadn't been getting no emails, and I was like, something ain't right. So I got on there and got to looking, and it was all jacked up. I had to fix it. So when I did get it fixed, the new iPhone update, when it updated, it just created chaos. When I fixed my Gmail account, I got like 3,000 emails that come in today. My phone, I had to put it in silent. It was like ding, 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 ding. I thought it was going to catch on fire and melt. So tonight I'm going to have to go through there and go through 3,000 emails. So nevertheless, so that's that. So here is the binary switch that comes with the kit if it's a small block. Well, the LS has to have a trinary binary switch. So that's that. So I got to go lines from here to here. So they make, on factory trucks, they have this thing that clamps right here, and then the hoses snap in it. So I'm going to see if I can find one. If not, I'm going to see if I can find something online, because that's probably where I'm going to run the hoses. I'm probably going to run them. I mean, I ain't going to need much, but we'll figure that out. All right, so here is the heat transfer circulator pump. So I had this. No, this is a 68 C10. I needed this harness. I was missing that harness, which was, and you can't, I was missing this, the 3-wire valve harness 231500. Well, you can't buy just this by itself because it comes in a kit. So they said, you didn't have, I said, no, it wasn't in the kit, because I looked. There's the kit right there. I went through the box and laid everything on the floor and emptied it, and then put every piece back in it one by one. And I did not have this harness. So I had to buy this, because if I knew what it was, if I knew the picture of it, I would have made it. Because the problem was, it had a plug on this end, and that is a weather pack. But that doesn't mean I can't order a weather pack and make it myself. So lesson learned on that. So I got that. So I have to fish these wires through here, and then this goes here. So when the AC controller asks for heat, it turns on that. Blah blah blah. You get the point. All right. I have a 68 C50. A what? You have a what? A 68 C50. A dump truck. It took me for a second. Yeah. What's up, JG? Yeah, dump truck. C50. I was like, what? A C50? That's a dump truck. All right, so now to the Holly. Let's get to the Holly. Not the cat. Cab is the same though. So, oh, patooies. I didn't put the cover back down. I told y'all a lie. So the harness is under here, where it's that I was telling you about, the wiring harness. Wait, I don't know. Hold on, I might be able to pick it up, because it's just sitting there. It don't have no bolts in it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Pick it up. Ow, that hurt. Pick it up, Jay. Right there. See that? You running MSD? No. Running this Holley Terminator Max. So right there is the harness. All right. Right here. This plug right here, it had wire loom, and it says CAN, C-A-N. It says C-A-N on it. Well, there was a wire loom all the way up to that weather pack. Well, I had to, that's where I was telling you I had to cut back their factory harness, or their stuff. And I found out that that black wire and that second orange wire was not in that weather pack. So I pushed them out. I fixed the pin. I pushed them back. When you did your short the other day in the snow, I saw that beautiful thing in the yard. What beautiful thing? What are you talking about? Ray, what are you talking about? What'd you see in the yard? So I had to de-pin this ground and that second orange wire, right? So once I got those out, my truck. What truck? And then I fixed the little tab on it, and then I pushed them back in there until they clicked. I made sure they was turned straight because they tiny. They like the size of a bobby pin. And then I pushed that plug in, and then once I pushed the plug in, then I zip tied. Oh, you talking about my deuce and a half? You talking about my deuce and a half? I got an LS in my 240. Good gracious. What's up, Jason? 011. So then once I got that done, I put a zip tie here to hold that. Then I put a zip tie on this one to hold that. And then I put a zip tie right here to hold that. So there's no wiggle, right? There's no wiggle, right? So with that being said, I had to pull up my dyno mat, or I'll fix that. But, boys and girls, oh, my 4-door? Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Let's see. Somebody asked the engine. All right, Games. It has a 6.0 block that TKM Performance built the whole engine, and she's supposed to be a monster. So, I'll show you this part. They claim a stock LS bottom end can hold up. Yes. So years ago, so let me put this right here. So years ago, what is it, Power Block TV? This was, I don't know, probably, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 years. You could probably Google it. You could probably look it up on YouTube and say, were Power Block TV put like 40 pounds of boost to a 4.8 LS or something. I don't know. If you just keep putting different configurations, you'll find it. So what they did was they went to the junkyard and they got a 5.3. Right? So they went to the junkyard and got a 5.3. They get it back and they take the heads off and they gap the rings. They just unbolted it. They gapped the rings, and one cylinder had rust in it. They honed that cylinder out like with a drill and a honer. They got all that stuff back. They put it all back together. They didn't put no new bearings. I'm not sure if they even put they might have put new bolts because those bolts are torqued to yield, so you can't use them at one time. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know, but I know they re-gapped it. They cleaned out the rust, and the engine was supposed to have like 175,000 miles on it. They put it all back together, and then they bought a eBay turbo kit. I don't know what size it was, and they put on it. Yes, they stretched it. So did you see that too, JG? That's weird me saying that. Did you see that? So they done all that, and then they just kept pushing the boost and kept doing runs. Oh, they measured everything too. They measured everything, the tolerance of everything, what needs to be measured. Then they put it back together, and then they pushed the fire out of it on the daggone dyno, and they just kept running pass after pass after pass after pass, and they done probably 20 or 30 passes. And each time they run past, first they was on cheap gas, 87, then they went to 89, then they went to 93, and then they might, don't quote me on it, in my mind for some reason they went up like to 100 octane or something, or race fuel or something that you could buy Cam 2 or something. And I think at 30 pounds or 31 pounds of boost, the ignition went out. The engine didn't go. The engine didn't pop. The ignition went out. So they backed it back down, and I think it was holding like 28 pounds of boost. And there's something on the screen. It was like 28 pounds of boost, I guess, I think. And they just kept pushing the fire out of that son of a gun, pass after pass after pass. And it made like 1,005 or 1,008 and just ungodly amount of torque. And then they let it cool down, and then they tore it apart to check everything. Yes. Then they just they took everything apart, and then they measured it. And then they realized it wasn't. And then when they looked at the crank and got the casting number, it wasn't a 5.3, it was actually a 4.8. And it made like 1,000, junkyard motor made 1,000 horsepower on a eBay turbo, and they pushed the daggone dog piss out of it. So, yeah, I did all that. Engine Master Show is great. Yeah, David's a good guy too. All right, so back to this. So I got power. I always had power on the Terminator, all right? And then look, daggone Jay, knock it out of your hand next time. I will. Hold on a second. Let me shut this son of a gun out of the way. Get it out of my way. Look at her, boys and girls. I got the console up, but look. I got power. I got power. I got power on the display. And I got power on the controller. So now, I can't do anything. I can't crank it or nothing because I don't have the other two sensors in. Because it says, do not do anything until all sensors are on the truck. So, or in the engine. So, that right there is on. So now let me tell you what I did. Once I plugged that thing up, it said it needed a software update, right? So I went through the software update. And then all of a sudden, the computer went out. It just cut off. It wouldn't come back on. The handheld said there was no ECU to be found. And I was like, what? The son of a gun's right here. I see it right there. I can touch it. I can feel it. Right there it is. So that right there, the handheld, I went through like 3 or 4 times trying to figure out what's wrong with it. And don't boot me. Boot you? What are you talking about, JG? Boot you for what? You ain't said nothing. So all of a sudden, it was doing nothing, right? I mean, this was working. The handheld was. But I wasn't getting nothing off of this. Not nothing. It was just completely nothing. And I was like, man, what in the world is wrong with this thing? This thing has worked for weeks. This didn't work. So I went back to my wiring harness and I re-stepped all my steps. I went through everything that I touched to see if I actually unplugged something or whatever. I took the fuses, I checked the fuse, I had power here, I had power there, I had the power there, the relay was working, I had power there, the battery was like at 13.7 volts, everything was good, everything was copacetic, nothing. It kept saying nothing, no power, no nothing. So I turned the power off, I turned the power on, this would come on, or this is on. The power's off. The power is off, right? But the handheld's on, right? Because the way they had me wired up, this stays on all the time, which I'm going to have to look into that because I don't know if that... I don't know if... I don't know if that's supposed to stay on all the time. I know this is supposed to stay on all the time because it'll lose its memory. But nevertheless, so I'm like, man, what in the world is going on with this thing? So, there's nothing in the tech manual. There's no troubleshooting, no nothing, whatever. So I was like, man, I guess I got to go outside and call Holly. So, the console, hold on a second. I'll show you. Hold on, let me tell you this first so I don't get sidetracked. So I called Holly, and they said, you are number 27 on the waiting list. I said, you got to be kidding me. So I have no cell phone service in the shop, but I'm working on that. I'm gonna get I got Wi-Fi. So that's how I'm on what I'm on now. And if you text me and you have an iPhone, I got an iPhone, I can text you back. But if you call me, it's gonna go straight to voicemail because there is no service in this building. No service. I got Wi-Fi, but no cell phone service. But I'm working on that. So I go outside, sit down. It's not too cold outside. So next thing you know is I call Holly. I'm on hold forever. So while I'm on hold, I'm online ordering parts on my phone. I'm ordering stuff that I need for this truck and other stuff. Finally, the guy gets on the phone and he says, "What you got going on?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, we're going to have to force an update." And I said, "Well, how?" I said, "Well, why did my ECU cut off?" He said, "Well, the ECU cut off is because the update did not update. And if the update didn't complete, then it will turn off. There will be no signal for the computer to come on." I said, "Okay, cool. How are we going to force the update?" He said, "You got the handheld in your hand?" And I said, "No, it's in the shop." And he's like, "Well, we need to go in the shop." I said, "You're going to have to sit outside. Tell me what to do. I'll go inside. I'll do it. I'll come back. You're going to have to wait." I said, "Don't hang up on me. I've been on hold for like an hour." So he told me what to do. I wrote it down. I come in here. I went through the handheld. And sure enough, I went through the process, the master code. I hit it and forced the update. I got an update. When I got an update, this thing right here said beep, 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 and it come back on. But then it goes crazy. Let me go over here. It's killing me to sit on that thing. So I call, he's still on the phone, so I go outside and I say, "Hey man, this thing is gone bananas again." And he says, "When did you purchase that?" I said, "I don't know when it was bought." I said, "When we bought the engine from TKM, we bought the whole system." "JG, where you go, man?" "I'm right here." "Where'd you go?" So, the other JG. So he says, "Can you tell me what the software update is?" I was like, "Yeah, hold on a second. Let me go back inside." I told him what the update was, and I go out there and I said, "The update version is," told him what it was, and he just got quiet and he said, "Well, if you have a computer, I can send you a link on a computer. You can take the SD card, put it in your computer. You can download the update, the newest update, and then you can plug it back into the handheld and you'll be good." I said, I don't have a computer. I don't have a laptop. I don't have anything. I got a cell phone. That's all I have." He says, you're going to have to hit firmware update until you get to the until you get to the newest version." And I said, "What's the newest version?" And he told me, and I said, "Well, how many is between the one that I got and the one that's out there?" He said, "About 20. So I said, "Lord have mercy." So I just sat out here and just kept doing it. And then finally, I'm to the stage now where it says, now I'm to the point in the instructions. Now I'm into this part right here where it says initial power up. It says, "Do not attempt to start the vehicle until you are told to do so by the instructions below." And then you have to go through and set up the handheld all the way to the very end. And then once you get to the very end, all the way to the very end, then it says once everything's been completed, now you may try to start the vehicle and record data. It also says right here, it says, "At this point of the installation, your EFI system should be 100% completed. If it is not completed, do not go to the next step." So I'm to this step, but like I said, I'm waiting on that sensor. I'm waiting on to build a cold air intake, and I'm supposed to have some 4-inch aluminum. Decided to go 4-inch aluminum because I got to put sensors in it. 4-inch aluminum cold air intake kit is supposed to be here Friday, and then I'm gonna start mocking up for the cold air intake and the ram air and the duct works to cool off the front brakes. So that's that. Where is the console? The console was right here. I pulled it out, and it's sitting right here on the table. I did pick up some quarter round, and I got to figure out how I want to. I got to think about it. How I want to do this, because I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's see, it'd be like that. So not 100% sure. Like I said, I'm just making a template. So this will be on the face to radius this. So this would be like a facial board. So that's cut. That's not the right length, but you get the idea. And then I got to figure out how, if that goes like that, then you see that's a sharp edge and that. So I got to figure out how to, so I either got to radius this corner to match this radius, therefore to match this radius of this. And then I'll 45 it, and then I'll run a piece at the back, you know, to give it a radius. This piece will be here. Also, there'll be a piece there to radius that corner. So that's the console. And then once I get all this stuff figured out, how I want it, then I'm gonna go see Baby Legs. When I go see Baby Legs Barker, then we'll go from there. I just have it screwed together and see how many times I've changed how I wanted it. So I'll go see him, and then we'll unscrew it. And then if I need to make adjustments, I can make adjustments. And then he can do his thing and make a template. And I didn't cut these holes out. I had to cut this one out for the shifter, but I can crawl under the truck and take the shifter loose and pull the shifter up, and then cut this hole in the fiberglass once I'm done, and then set it right back down on it. But that's that. So that's that. There's the hoses. And then the next thing is this. So this is the battery connection, where I can hook a battery charger up or a jump box to this truck's battery. So I blew Loctite. So when you take these little covers off, you got these little brass knurls. So all this stuff was put together, and then I blew Loctite. Now that's not gonna stay there, so don't worry about that screw. Them are sharp as all get out. So that's why I use them. I'll put in a different type of fastener once I get done. This is just a mock-up. But every bit of that was blue Loctite together. So it will hopefully stay together. Then these lines here came with the kit. Let me see if I can get down here. So the battery, is going to go right here, and it's an XS1200, which is a liquid AMG battery. It's supposed to be here today, hopefully. It goes here. Since these lines are like super, super long, once the battery gets here and I bolt the battery into the housing, then I'll see where I need these, right? And then once where I see these, I will cut these, and I will put ends on them, shrink wrap them, and all that good stuff. So that's that. Look at Holly, he's underneath there. So also I am going to put also I'm gonna put a Schrader valve right here in the middle. Maybe. I might just make another one of these. I'll make this I'll make one of these brackets like this, and it's potentially that I might raise this up. I might raise this up to like right here, maybe. I don't know.
or lower it. What? So I'll either raise it or lower it and make another bracket like this to put here, because I want to put a hose bib, and I want to put a Schrader valve. And once the Schrader valve's there, and then if something, like I said, I might move this up and put it at the bottom so nothing's hanging over this, because these are electrical. So I might raise this up and put it down and put the air chuck here and then the Schrader valve here. So if I need to put air into the air system for emergencies or whatever, I can put air in it and it'll fill up the bags manually. Say the compressors go out or whatever, I can still get air. And then I'm talking about putting a Prevost style connector. A Prevost is, I use all Prevost, Prevost. So they're pretty big. So I don't know if I'll be able to use something like that. But if I use one of these are safety locks. So let's say I'll figure out a way where I can put, and I might even put it under the truck. I don't know, but I want to put one of these on the truck and hardline that into the airline, because let's say if I needed to put air in a tire and I had an airline, I could put air in a tire. If I needed to run a small impact, I can run a small impact, stuff like that. For the cutoff switch, to your question, Ray, do I have a cutoff switch? Yeah, I have actually two. Where it be at? Where does it be at? Let's see. Here it is. Right there. Right there. So I I accidentally ordered 4. So I took 2 of them back yesterday to Amazon, got my money back. This one is to replace the one on the 68 on that truck there, because that one's bad. So I'm gonna replace it with this one. And then I have another one that I'm gonna put on this truck, that I'm gonna put the cutoff underneath the truck down there, the kills or disconnects the hot side or the ground side. It doesn't matter. Probably the ground side to the truck. So that's that. Here for what? Shocks. What are you talking about, shocks? Shocks for what? Shocks for what? Also, I think, back this up. Also, I think that AMG red top battery on the 68 C10, I think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's weak. He brought it to me. He said he had it, and then it has good voltage, but it loses a charge. When the battery's unhooked, within a few days, it loses its charge, and then I have to charge it back. So I think it's just dead. JG, no shocks, airbags. He was talking about the gas door at the start, I think. What's the matter? JG, no shocks, airbags. It does have shocks. It has shocks and airbags. I'll show you. It's got to have shocks. Right there. Right there's the shocks. Right there. And then here's the airlines. They're out of stainless steel braided line. They'll hold 3,000 PSI and they're heat resistant. They're all stainless. Yep, see all the airlines on this is stainless braided line. Anyway, back to the red top. So I'm gonna just take that red top off and go to AutoZone because AutoZone sells red top. So I'm just gonna take that red top battery to AutoZone. Well, better yet, I have an old battery, like an old battery. You just need a core. I'm gonna take the old battery for a core. I'm gonna take that red top. I'm gonna put it on the table. I'm gonna charge it. I'm gonna do a load test on it to see if it's got a dead cell. If it's got a dead cell, it's no good. Because the Holley system cannot drop below 10.9 volts. 10.9 volts. If it just say 11, anything under 11, it will not activate. So, anywho's, that's why I have the trickle charger on it. And I told him, I said, whenever you're not driving your truck, you need to. He's pretty smart. He's race cars, so he'd know. I said, you need to at least plug up, because it's going to stay in the garage anyway. I said, you at least need to plug up the trickle charger to keep a charge on the battery, because the computer is going to constantly draw power. Not much, just low power. It's constantly going to draw power to keep the settings in the handheld. And if the battery goes completely dead, then the handheld will go to default, and the truck will have to be you have to set the parameters back up. That's what it says in this. So you want to make sure, and then it has to need to get one of those never start. What are you talking about, a never start? Jason, lucky it ain't a lithium battery, mega expensive. You can't change them out with. Oh yeah, you're right, Ray. You can't. You have to have a battery charger that has the AGM setting on it. If you put a regular battery charger on a gel battery and you don't, yeah, you'll destroy it. Yeah, so that charger, that trickle charger, it is AMG, or it's gel battery compliant. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, so every time I go to the store to get fuel, I always grab 2 or 3, because they have a thing. You can buy 2 or 3 Red Bulls, sugar-free, and you get an extra 10 cents off the gallon, right? So every time I go in there, I'll get, a couple different flavors, whatever. And every time they turn around, it's really called an EverStart battery, but they never start. I'm not buying no Walmart battery and putting on this truck. I'm not doing it. There's people that swear by them, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm not doing it. Oh, anyways, so I go in there, and I'll grab this one. I'll go in there and I'll grab 2 or 3, 4, whatever, because they're like 2 for $5. So they're 2 for $5 or 1 for $2.89 or $2.75. So if you get 2, you get 2 for $5 plus tax. If you get 1, it's like $2.75 for 1. So my battery costs $2.75. So yesterday I was in there. I was at Walmart getting some stuff, and they got their Red Bull cooler down low on self-checkout. And it says pink edition, wild berries. So I got 2 of these, 2 of the blue ones, 2 of the green ones. Walmart don't have no thinking for fuel, but I got 2 pink ones, 2 blue ones, 2 green ones, 2 yellow ones, and 2 silver ones. My battery cost $2. I know, I'll tell you this, the battery, the battery in my Trailblazer SS, it would set for 2 or 3 days and then it wouldn't crank. And I go to charge it, drive it, and then it set for 2 or 3 days in the garage and wouldn't crank. It got aggravating, like really, really bad aggravating. So then I said, okay, fine. I took the battery out. I took it back to AutoZone. It was one of their platinum batteries. It was like $350 some. I said, man, I need you to test this battery. Yeah, something must be wrong with it. And it was like this a few months ago. So let's just say it was October of 2024. So it was an October of 2024 battery. I said, something ain't right. So they kept it for a couple of days. I stopped by there and they said, hey man, we tested the battery out, had a bad cell. I was like, okay, fine, cool. So they replaced it. So I come home, put the battery in my Trailblazer SS, cranked right up, drove it 2 or 3 days, parked it, went back 3 or 4 days to get in to drive it, nothing, dead as a hammer. I said, what in the world? So went through the whole process again and took it back to AutoZone. And I said, man, can you check this battery? And he looked at me crazy and he said, didn't you just I said, yeah, can you check this battery for me, please? He tested the battery in it and he says it's got a dead cell in it. I said, he looked at me and he said, how in the world? And this one had like November of 2024. He said, how in the world did you get 2 batteries with 2 dead cells? I said, I don't know. So I got doing some research. I got doing some digging. And I was like, man, that just don't seem right because I've had this thing since it was new. So I was like, man, something ain't right. So I got to looking and checking, and it says if the alternator was bad and it was undercharging, it would kill a battery. If it was overcharging, it would kill a battery. Okay, great. So I took the alternator off. I took it to AutoZone because the electrical shop up here, they were closed. I took it to AutoZone. They hooked it up on their machine and they test loaded it. They did a test load on it. And it all tested out. It was good. The diode was good. Everything was good. I'm like, okay, cool. I put it back on the truck in the parking lot. I took it off in the parking lot because it's a 6.0 LS3, all aluminum. That's the way they came out. They're a 6.0 LS3, all aluminum. Or LS2, excuse me, LS2, all aluminum. So the alternator's at the top so you can get to it real quick. So I put the alternator back on it and I drove it a couple days, battery dead again. I said, man, I tell you what. So I got a buddy that works at the Chevrolet place and he has a GM handheld. So I get with him. He hooks it up to the GM handheld. He runs it through. He hooks it up to the OB2 port. I done it with a generic one and it tested out good. He tested it with a GM scan tool, plugged it up to the OBD port and went through it. And he looked at me and said, alternator's bad. I said, what? He said, the alternator's bad. And I said, really? He said, yeah, right here, look. He said, look at the data. So to do the test on a handheld, like a generic handheld, you have to go through the steps, hook up the OB2 thing, go through the steps, load test the alternator, turn the headlights on high, run it up to 2,500 RPM, hold it for 60 seconds, and let it go through its process, and then it will let you know if everything's copacetic, right? New cars have too many modules. Yes, well, the Trailblazer SS, they only made them the end of 2006, 2007, 2008, and they only made 600 units in 2009. So just say from 2007 to 2009, they only made Trailblazer SS with the 6.0 LS2 engines in them. They only made them, Cyclones were cool. Yep, they only made them for a little bit. So they do have a lot of modules too. So when he hooked it up to the GM scan tool, and we done the exact same test, the alternator, the live data, because you can see a whole lot more stuff on a GM scan tool, the live data was going crazy for the alternator. It would spike. I mean, it would literally just spike up crazy, like way voltage, like 14, 15, 16, and then it would drop down to 9. It was like this. It was crazy. And then when you let it go back down, it would kind of mellow out. Then when you put it under load, I know where there is a GMC Typhoon at sitting right now. I know where the one's sitting at. It's not 20 minutes from my house. It's sitting in a garage. I'll tell you that story in a second. So that, I said, he said, yeah, look, and I mean, it was crazy. And I said, well, what would that do? And he said, oh, it'd make everything go crazy. And I said, will it kill a battery? And he said, oh, it'll kill it dead. He said, it will burn the cells up in a battery because it's overcharging and undercharging just within a few days. And I was like, okay, boss. So I got a brand new alternator from the Chevrolet place. And I put it on in the parking lot and ain't had no trouble since. Even though that the alternator tested out good at AutoZone, and if I'd have took it up here to the electrical shop where they do that stuff, he probably could have told me, because he's been doing it forever, he could have probably told me the same thing that my buddy at GM told me. But the thing about it is he wasn't open, and every time I go by, he wasn't there because he just hit and miss. But he deserved it. He's been there for like 50 years. But nevertheless, I told my buddy at Cheryl place, I said, well, that's pretty good. That alternator's been on there since 2008. And he said, do what? I said, that alternator's been on there since 2008. And he said, I believe you got your money's worth out of it. So all right. So a couple years ago, this guy came up to me out of the blue. I was at Walmart, and I don't know, he looked at me and said, you work on cars? And I said, no. And he goes, you don't? I said, no. He said, you look like you work on cars. I said, no, I don't work on cars. He said, oh, okay. I said, why, what you got? And he said, I got a few things I'd like to get rid of. And I said, yeah, what you got? And he was telling me what he had. Hey, buddy, I think your alternator's bananas. Yeah. So he was telling me about some old cars. He had a Monte Carlo, like a 70. He had like a 70 or 71 Monte Carlo 2-door. And I was like, yeah, you got me interested on that. He's like, yeah, I need to get rid of that and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah. And he was telling me some other stuff he had. He said, you think you'd be interested in it? And I said, I don't know. And then he told me he had an old Chevrolet Suburban, had a diesel engine in it. I said, no, I ain't trying to. And then he said he had a GMC Chevrolet, he had a GMC pickup truck. And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah. So we talked for about 30 minutes outside Walmart, and then I said, well, here's my number, man. Just call me or something, man. I'll come look at that Monte Carlo. And he says, okay, cool. Well, about a week later, he calls me, and he tells me, hey, you want to come by the house? So I said, cool, whatever. So he tells me where he lives. I go to his house. I pull up. He's got cars everywhere, everywhere. Some of them are good. Some of them are junk. I mean, he's just everywhere, right? So he takes me in this building or warehouse, whatever you want to call it. He takes me in there, and there's this 70 Monte Carlo 2-door. I said, man, that's cool, man. That's nice. And he said, yeah. I said, man, I always liked these cars, man. That's cool. He's like, yeah. And then he had a 62 Impala 2-door, and it was 3 on the tree, straight 6, blah, blah, blah. And he said that it run and drove, whatever, and he cranked it up and it run bad, but it run, all that stuff. And I was like, well, that's cool, man. I said, I don't know what you think I have on Monte Carlo, because I got a buddy that's looking for one. And he said, I don't know. I really need to get rid of it, and I want a fixed income and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, well, man, I can't buy it and sell it too. Just give me a number. I don't know. What you think it's worth? I said, man, I can't buy it and sell it. I mean, I might say a number and it offends you, and then you won't let me come back. So we talked a little bit longer, and then I said, well, where's that Chevrolet pickup truck you got? He said, oh, it's over here on the other side. So we go through this door, and he got this sheet, like this blanket. We pull the blanket back, we go in there, and he said, I got to go over there and turn the lights on, and there's boxes everywhere. And he gets over there, and he turns on the light, and there's blankets, like shipping blankets, laying on the truck, right? And I said, that's cool, man. I said, you want me to help you? And he said, yeah, hold on a second. Let me get over here and turn this light on. And it's just light bulbs, and just barely could see in there. Cats, cats has done pissed on everything. I mean, it's just crazy. I like that. I can't buy it and sell it too. Yeah, I can't buy it and sell it too. I mean, look, 9-finger wrenches. You got to tell me something, baby. Give me a number. Give me something to work off of. I can't buy it and sell it. Be like me. What do you give me for? I don't know, $200? No, that ain't gonna get it. Okay, I mean, I can't buy it and sell it. You got to give me something. And cats everywhere. You smell cat piss and I'm thinking, God, man, what? And it was. I mean, and then we start pulling the blankets back, and I'm like, now I'm trying to hold my emotions because it is a GMC Typhoon. And I'm sitting here going, you got to be me right now. He goes over there and opens the door. I go over there and open the door. What's this channel about? How are you doing? Just a little bit of everything, man. Build hot rods, build cars, painting, airbrushing, daily life, cutting wood, duck hunting, canning food. It don't matter, man. Ain't no telling what's going on here. Right now we're talking about this. So I'm sitting here looking at this Typhoon, and I'm trying to hold my emotions in. He's got this daggone Camel's no filter cigarette hanging off his lip. Bless his heart. He just said, let me get over here and get this right here. And I'm like, this thing is swinging in the air, right? Just crazy, right? It gets a shot light over and turns it on, and and I'm like, this thing don't look like it's been out drove or anything. And he told me, this is a story he told me. He told me that he co-signed for his son to buy this truck when it came out. They ordered it, got the truck, right? It had like 20-some thousand miles on it. You cannot make this up. Yeah, 9 fingers. And I'm sitting here just trying to hold my composure going, yep, it's this old piece of shit GMC pickup truck. I'm just sitting there going, he showed me this Monte Carlo. He showed me this Impala. He showed me this other car he had. And then he takes me through the daggone curtain, through the back, in the back room, turns on this old incandescent light bulb, turns on this other one. There's shipping blankets laying all over it. Smells like cat piss in there where they done sprayed Tomcat in there and sprayed the whole building. I mean, it's just, there shouldn't be a rat in a 100-mile radius. I mean, cats everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, this dude has got a GMC Typhoon covered up in shipping blankets in this room here. You can't even walk around it. There's boxes everywhere. The tires, they have air in them. They're not flat. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God. And he goes, yeah, he says, I said, well, tell me the story of it, man. He said, well, I don't know if you're familiar with these things. These things are pretty quick. And I said, yeah, early? He said, oh yeah. I said, well, tell me about it. I'm just letting him tell his story, right? He said, well, my son went down to the GMC place. He went, these things come out. He ordered this thing. I went down there, I co-signed him for him. He said, you know what? And he still had that cigarette hanging in his mouth, just hanging down like that Camel, no filter. He's sitting there and he goes, every time you turn around, that damn little shit was getting in trouble. I said, was he? And he's like, yeah. Speeding ticket, burnouts, all kinds of stuff. And he said, the old lady said if I didn't do something, he was gonna kill himself. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, you're probably right. I said, what do you do? He said, I took it away from him. I said, you took it away from him? He said, yep, sure did. He said, pulled it right here in the building, backed it up, shut the door, and told him to turn the tags in. I said, well, I take it you got the title for it? He said, yeah, I made the payment every damn month. Every time I got done doing all my crops and stuff, he said, I went down there. He said, back then, buddy, you probably don't know that you could just walk in the daggone dealership with a sack full of money and they take it. I said, yeah, I've heard stories about that, but you can't do that no more. He said, no. He said, I had chickens, had chicken houses and crops. And he says, I'd go down there, you know, and I'd pay them and I'd pay them and I'd pay them. And next thing you know, sounds familiar, a Mustang, but a Typhoon. I said, well, yeah. I said, he said, I bet we put a battery in this thing at a crank. I said, no, let's don't do that. And he's like, you don't want to do that? I said, no. I said, no, sir. He said, well, it ain't got many miles on it. And I said, okay. I wanted to take my phone out so bad and take a picture of it. I could not stand it. But I didn't want to be disrespectful, and then I get run off with a shotgun. So I'm sitting there going, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. He goes over there and gets everything, pops the hood, gets the battery charger over there, old battery sitting there. He puts it on there and turns it, and it's got like 20-some thousand miles on it. I'm over here chewing my knuckles. I said, man, that's good. I believe you. I said, well, I tell you what. I said, what do you want for it? What do I want for it? I said, I mean, you said you wanted to get rid of some stuff. I said, what's your wife? Oh, my wife been dead 15 years. I said, I'm looking for a used Toyota Tundra. And I said, I mean, what's the plan? I mean, I guess you own it or your son owns it. I mean, is it your son's truck? I mean, what's the deal with it, buddy? I mean, you want to sell them? I said, look, tell me what you want for the Monte Carlo and this truck. I'll buy them both. Tell me what you want for them. Give me a number. And if that's not a number, I'll come back and I'll be fair with you. He said, I don't know. What you think? I said, I can't buy it and sell it. And he says, I don't know. So by this time, we've come out of there, turned the lights out, put the curtain down, done this. I put the blankets back over it, made sure the door shut, make sure there wasn't no cats in the daggone thing. Get the door shut. The truck was all there. I've never, ever. I was like, Lord have mercy. We get out there, and then he shows me some other stuff. He shows me a tractor. He shows me this. He shows me that. And I look at him, and I said, hey, man, let me know about them cars, man. Let me know. He shows me the Suburban. He shows me this. He shows me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just giving him time because nobody probably don't never come see him. He's probably whatever, you know what I mean? Just want somebody to talk to. What kind of truck? We are talking about a GMC Typhoon. And I said, well, man, I got to get back to it. I said, but here, look, here's my number. Here's my card. Here's my cell phone number. Call me. I said, get a number. Let me know what you want for the 70 Monte Carlo and the Typhoon. And he says, okay. And I said, just let me know. And he said, okay. I said, and I can probably get you the money within 24 hours. And he says, you're going to bring it to me in a sack? And I said, if that's the way you want it, I'll bring it to you. You got the title? And he says, okay. Never heard nothing from him. Right? Never heard nothing from him. Had his number and everything. I'd call, got a house phone, just ring. No, nothing. I went to his house one day. There was nobody there. you know, his car wasn't there, or his car wasn't there that he was in. Nothing. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. This man has died and whatever. Then at the Peach Festival last year, I was sitting out on the sidewalk. A year had went by. I was sitting out on the sidewalk, and this guy walks by, and he comes by with his little cowboy hat on, and he had that Camel cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And I looked at him, and I said, hey, man, how are you? JG, you ain't lying, man. I got a 09. I said, hey, man, what's up? He goes, hey, you're that car guy. I said, yeah, I'm that car guy. You remember me? I said, I'm that car guy. You remember me? And he said, yeah, I sure do. I said, man, have a seat right here with me. He said, you doing all right? And I wanted to just jump right into it, right? Jump right into dessert. And I'm like give me a little appetizer. I said, man, doing all right? He said, yeah. I said, you sell that Monte Carlo? No, I still got it. It's still down there in the building in the same spot. I said, you get rid of that Suburban? No, it's still down there in the same spot. I said, what about that Impala? No, he said, I did change the points in it. He said, I did get it fired the other day and blow acorns and stuff out of the exhaust pipe, rats. And I said, yeah. I said, what about that Chevrolet pickup truck over there, that GMC, that GMC Chevrolet pickup truck, that GMC pickup truck? I don't know. I still got it too. I said, you ever get a number together? No. I said, do you want to sell it? I said, I tell you what, let me know what you want for the 70 Monte Carlo, the 62 or 61 Impala, the Suburban, and the GMC pickup truck. Let me know what you want, all of them. I said, I'll cash you off, and we'll go from there. I don't know. He said, I called my son and talked to him and told him you come down there and looked at it, and we talked a little bit, and I knew where this was going. And, oh, yeah, me too, man. I'd like to have one of them old Montes. I'd like to have me one of them. I don't need one, but I'd like to have one. I don't need it. I'd like to have it. You know, it's not a need, it's a want. And I'm trying to de-want. I'm trying to de-want. I don't need it, but I'd like to have it. And I said, well, you ever decide? I said, you ever decide you want to go? I don't know. I said, your son want to fix that truck up? He said, nah. He ain't got no damn money. I said, yeah, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, if he was smart and he got online and he got to looking how much a GMC Typhoon was, he would have some money. Son waiting for Pops to pass so he can get his truck back. There might be some truth to that, KC. There might be some truth to it. Hey, I don't care. Hey, JG, I don't care. If that son of a gun called me today and said, hey, you remember me? He was like, hey, you remember me? Yeah, I remember you. I decided if he called me, JJ, you pretty good storyteller, got me hanging on. I'm telling you right now, if that son of a gun called me today, tomorrow, or come up to because he knows where I live. He knows where my shop's at. I told him where my shop's at and everything. I even showed him on the GPS. I pulled it up on satellite. I said, you see this place right here? He said, yeah. I said, this is where I live at, big dog. I said, look, if you come by and the gate's open, I'm here. I said, I'm usually here Sunday through Sunday. I said, but if the gate's shut and you see that black Chevrolet truck in there, blow the horn. Just blow the horn. Call me, blow the horn. Just blow the horn. The dogs will start hollering, and I'll come out there and I'll see what you need, big dog. And he said, okay, I'll let you know. And I got his name, and I'm going to go and tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. I ain't going to tell you his name because I know how social media is. You son guns will be daggone cut Jay's. Y'all be cut my nuts out. Y'all be just, y'all be going down there and snatch it up and then tag me. Guitar shop from the UK. Man, we done jumped across the pond again. Yeah. $4,000.
But who said a lot of work? Somebody said a lot of work. JG said a lot of work though. But I'm telling you, if he called with that camel no filter cigarette, if he called, hey JG, this is this guy with that GMC. I'm on my way, big dog. How do you want that? 10s, 20s, 5s, 10s, 1s? You want it in quarters? How do you want it? You want it in Bitcoin? You want it in, how do you want it? Let me know what you need and let Jay take care of you. I know whatever it takes because I promise you, there would be a GMC Typhoon sitting right here and we'd be rolling Bitcoin, not Buttcoin, but Bitcoin. Whatever it takes. Joshua, look, I want to build another car. I want to build another vehicle, hydraulics. I had a 93 Toyota mini truck in 93. One of the handful here in the East Coast in North Carolina that one had hydraulics, 16 switches, two pro red hopper, spit it out, Jay. Ain't nobody gonna take it from me. 2 pro red hopper pro pumps, 16 switches, running 13x7 Dayton wire wheels, full button tuck, crushed velvet interior, 4 15 Rockford Falls gates, all the punch amps that you wanted, 6 1/4, everything in the door, 6-inch biscuits, green, metal flake, just you name it. You name it. Hey, JG, I understand. Look, you done got me sidetracked. What was it talking about? I seen that and he's talking about that. Look, squirrel, I'm just broke, just trying to rebuild this. Hey, yeah, tell me about it. Man, that Typhoon will be so bad. Buttcoin. All right, so look here. Bitcoin. In 2000, when Bitcoin come out, right? Bitcoin, when it came out, I have a buddy. I have a friend that I know. He asked me to buy $1,000. Asked me to buy $1,000 in Bitcoin when it was 25 cents a share. And I told him, no. It sounded like a pyramid scheme to me. No. He's like, look, you buy 1,000, I'll buy 1,000. I said, no, I'm not doing it. Then some time goes by and it went up to like $2 or something. He's like, Jay, I'm telling you, man, you need to get on this, man. You need to get on this like a duck on a June bug. Man, just buy $500 worth. I said, no. He said, dude, buy $500 worth. I said, no. He said, man, you have wasted $500 on stupid stuff. And I said, yeah, but I just can't buy $500 in Bitcoin. He said, I'm telling you, man, you need to get it. 9-finger wrenching. You ain't lying, brother. I'd be like Scrooge McDuck. I'd be breaststroking in them coins, baby. So my buddy did. He bought $1,000 worth at 25 cents. All right? And when it hit like 20,000, he sold half of it. He sold like 20,000, or when he got up to like 20,000, he sold half of it. Paid off all of his debt. Just what, and I'm super happy for him. Then now, last time I checked, he called me the other day. Matter of fact, I posted on social media. He called me the other day, and it's up to like $98,000 of Bitcoin. And I asked him, and we were talking about it, we was laughing. And he told me, he said, hey, you remember? I said, I remember. He says, I said, what are you doing? He said, we just got back from, he said, me and my family, we just got back from Dubai. What's up, big fish? Oh, we talked about a little bit of everything. We talked about the controller for the Terminator X, how I figured out, and got this and got that.
We talked about the controller, the stuff on the C10. Now we talking about Bitcoin. We talked about me finding a GMC Typhoon in a building the man won't sell. It's got like 20,000 miles on it. Yeah, so 9 fingers. So yeah, you're exactly right. So he said, man, I just got back from Dubai. He said, me and the family over there. He said, I've been moving some of my Bitcoin over to some savings and this and that, whatever. I plan on buying a 1,000-acre farm, I said, man, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm happy for you. And he's like, you remember when I told you? I said, I remember. I said, I remember when you told me. And he says, I got a deal for you. I said, what's that? So he's got like, he said that he sold some and then it dropped back down and then he bought back. So he said he had, I forget how many he's got, because he bought $1,000 worth at $2. He bought $1,000 worth at 25 cents a share. Then when it hit like $35,000, he sold a bunch of it, paid his house off, but he said he still has over 3/4 of what he bought. So he's worth millions of dollars. It's in the UK, it's 11 p.m. It is 6:30 here in North Carolina. Man, you got me introed on the Typhoon. Now I'm stuck. Been listening for a while before I chimed in. That dude was right. A great time. Hey, you got the best name out here, buddy. Owen Livers, you got the best name. The best name, buddy. You know why? My little boy was named Owen Green. This month, January 28th, 2025, will be the anniversary. He passed unexpectedly, January 28th, 2019. And then we buried him 3 days after my birthday. So, how often have you seen somebody use Bitcoin? All the time. All the time. All the time. So, bro, I had an S250. That's what I'm talking about. So he told me, he said, I'm going to help you out. I said, you going to help me out? And he's like, yeah. I said, you going to feel sorry for me because you got all them Bitcoins, you got all that money, you want to roll it over into my trust fund? He says, what? I said, no, man, I'm just picking with you. Easy come, easy go. I said, nope. I said, you done that, you earned that. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. My son was born March of 19. Appreciate it. Yep, my little boy was born June 19th. His birthday was June 19th. He passed away unexpectedly. Healthy little boy, passed away unexpectedly. January 28th, 2019. Just like that. So, I've never seen someone use that. Hey, I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'd started a scholarship at the college helping folks. That's what the Forever 6. When you see me hashtag Forever 6, remember Owen Forever 6 scholarship. That's what that's about. So, I don't know, JG. I don't know. It might be BS, but I'm telling you what, that he said, no, man, you tell me. I said, no. I said, you earned that money. That's your money. I don't want no free ride. I don't want no free lunch. I said, I appreciate it. I said, I tell you what, man. Oh, no, man. Owen. You keep commenting, brother. You keep commenting. You ain't going to, no. You keep it coming. We rocking and a rolling. That's terrible. I don't want to change the mood, so I'm going to keep quiet and let you tell. No, man, you keep chiming in, buddy. I promise you. I deal with mine the way I deal with mine. You good. I want you to comment. So, money is useless paper. No, hush, you big dummy. So I did tell him this. I said, if you want to do something to me, I'll give you the link to my little boy scholarship that I've been putting money in to help other folks go to school. They apply for it. The school's foundation, they pick who meets the qualifications for my son's scholarship, and they award it to him. I said, if you want to help me out, then you can call up to Randolph Community College. You can talk to Shelly up there in the foundation, and you can contribute $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million. I don't care, big dog. I said, $1 is just as important to me as $1 million. It has the same weight. So if a man comes in and he has a dollar, then I appreciate that dollar just as much as somebody give me $1 million. It weighs the same. Weighs the same. God sends us reminders, be happy. Yeah, you're exactly right, Nine Fingers. Owen, you keep commenting, brother. You keep commenting. Look, what's the weather in America? It's cold. It's cold here. It's cold. It was in the 20s. It's in the teens. California's burning. North Carolina mountains got washed away. Hurricane. It's like the apocalypse over here. We just waiting. Give it 30 minutes and the damn weather will change again. So I told my buddy, back to the Bitcoin, I told him, I said, look, you don't have to give me nothing. You don't have to give me nothing. Your friendship is all I need. I don't need nothing else. That's the weather report for Oklahoma. Man, we got 6 inches of snow in Memphis. Man, let me tell you. So let me finish this and I'll get back to the snow. Let me write a note so I don't forget. Snow in Memphis and ducks. So we started a scholarship. Yeah. Well, Los Angeles burnt. Los Angeles is burnt before, right? If you go back and look at history, in 1850, it burned again. It is burnt a lot for the reset. I'm not going to get into that, but just look at the history of the fires in Los Angeles. 1850, it done the exact same thing. It's 11 degrees in the UK. It's going to be 15 here tomorrow. Oh, no, I know, Big Fish. I got the daggone wood heater rolling, baby. I got that something done packed to the gills. It's 11 degrees in the UK. History repeats itself. Hey, Los Angeles, they want to implement in 2025 and 2030, they want to implement a new, just look up the project, just look up Los Angeles is projects for 2030. And just read the documents that California put out in 2014, 2015. Just look at the documents of everything they wanted to do, and where they wanted to do it is where everything burnt. Hey, Nine Fingers, you exactly right. You guys I know you guys do it in Tennessee. We do prescribed burns here in North Carolina. I have burnt my property 3 times, and we're scheduled to burn it again. We're scheduled to burn it again this spring, and burn North Carolina does prescribed burns, and it's about $45 an acre, but there's thousands and thousands of acres of game land that they burn all the time. So what a coincidence. What a coincidence, haha. Hey, look, I don't believe in coincidence. History repeats itself, the devil can't organize. Look, Big Fish in here preaching. So, it's been in the single digits some nights the past week with negative wind chills, foot snow, most ice. Yeah, they say the last week of January is supposed to be in the single digits here. So, back to, I think it was Nine Fingers. Didn't you say you got, like 7 inches of snow? Let me go back. Yeah, 6, 7 inches in Memphis. So Saturday, Saturday, it was supposed to snow, right? This past Saturday, it was calling for all this bad weather. I think it was Saturday. It might have been Friday. I don't know. Might have been Friday. I don't know. Last couple of days, I can't keep up. Nevertheless, it was supposed to snow. I got everything ready. Got all my duck gear together. Got everything ready. Got the hounds ready. Got everything ready. Let me scroll this back up. Got everything ready. That's for California. Hey, North Carolina, look, I know it's bad. I know it's bad in California. I know it's bad. But it's warm out there, okay? What bothers me is our government said that they were on the ground within hours, right? Our POTUS was on the ground within hours, right? And it was talking about doing all this stuff, whatever. And then he says we're going to pay for everything we're going to pay for everything for 180 days. But nobody never set foot in Tennessee and in North Carolina mountains. Nobody set foot there for weeks. And there's people, I got people in the mountains that are sleeping in tents, and it's freezing cold out there. You don't see them talking about them on TV. And I'm all about helping folks. Trust me, I'm all about helping folks. But we can't forget one, and we can't do for one and not do for the other. We can't do one without the other. So if we're going to pay for everything in California, we need to pay for everything in Tennessee and North Carolina too. So, yeah. I know friends and family that have made numerous trips to the mountains hauling food, fuel, hay, clothes, groceries, medicine, you name it. I don't care if you white, black, yellow, green, orange, purple. I don't care if you look like a damn bag of Skittles. If you're going to do for one, do for the other. You can't show favoritism to one and not do for the other one. That's the problem we got now. We show favoritism to one and then we forget the other. And then all of a sudden we switch gears and we show favoritism to this one and we forget the other one. We all in this damn boat together and we're all paddling. The problem is we got people in the back of the boat drilling holes going, Jay, keep paddling, baby. We going. They drilling holes in the boat. So I got a low tolerance for bullshit. So enough of that. So back to the ducks. Go duck hunting. Get up that morning. There ain't nothing on the ground but the 1/8 inch of ice. Go to the swamp and don't see the first duck in sight. Don't see nothing. Do you have a farm? We're all going to hell. I don't know about you, Carlos, but I'm not. I know me and Big Fish, we're not going. I know where we're going. I've been homeless in recent months, and I was camping by the river. It was already dropping thoroughly. Yeah, dude, that's rough. So when I was in the Navy, and we was doing special ops training, and I've been camping my whole entire life. I've been in cold weather. I've been this. I've been that. I've been around it, right? That's why they send all the military people to North Carolina, where I live at, because we have all the terrain that's sort of around the whole world. We got swamp ass heat. We got cold. We got dry. We got humidity. We got it all. We got it all. We're like a duck-billed platypus. We got it all right here. But we went and done some cold weather training. And we was out all day and all this stuff and we get back and we're in our tents, big tents, the big tents. I appreciate it. So we're in this big tent, right? We're in this big tent and we get ready to go to bed, and I'm like, okay, fine. I get in my sleeping bag, get in my Gore-Tex bag, get in there, And they had people out there outside that was on fire watch. So the lieutenant let them build a fire, big fire. And the rule was, if the fire went out, it stayed out. The rule was the fire stayed on. So if you was on fire watch, your job was to keep the fire rolling. And I'm telling you, them boys kept that thing rolling. It didn't matter if it was snowing, raining, that fire was going. He said, if the fire goes out, it don't never come back on. I'm in there, and I get up in the middle of the night, and I am freezing. I am freezing. I'm like, dude, I shouldn't be cold. What are you talking about? What is this? We talking about a little bit of everything now. We went from cars. We went to talk to Bitcoin. I get back to Bitcoin in a minute. We talked about the fires in California. We talked about the 68 C10 truck, but I had a computer problem. We talked about the 86 truck over here. We talked about duck hunting. We talked about prescribing fire burns. We talked about people freezing in North Carolina. We talked about Owen living on the side of the creek bank in 30-degree weather while he was going to be CDL licensed. We talked about, Carlos said we're all going to hell, and I said, I don't know about you, but I know where me and Big Fish are going, and that ain't where I'm going. So now we talked about a GMC Typhoon that I found in a barn that a man won't sell, or a building a man won't sell me, and I talked about these new Red Bulls, and that's where I'm at right now. I did all that, and then I forgot where I was at. Let's see. Seems like my kind of stream then. So, oh yeah, we talked about this console that I'm building. I'm going down to Baby Legs Barker, and we're going to make a fiberglass mold out of it. That too. And some AC lines. A little bit of everything, like a duckbill platypus. We got a little bit of everything going on. So, yeah, there wasn't no ducks. There wasn't nothing. Keep the fire going. There wasn't no ducks going. Oh yeah, keeping the fire going. Appreciate you, Jason. Appreciate you. Keeping the fire going. See, look, ooh, squirrel. So I get up in the middle of the night, unzip my Gore-Tex bag, my sleeping bag, and I look up, and on the roof of this canvas tent that we're in, it was solid snowball white. And I said, daggone, it's cold. I get out of my sleeping bag, get my shoes on, get everything, get my boots on, get everything. I go outside. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I go out there and stand next to the fire, and I get warm. Reveille comes. So one of the guys on fire watch, he said, "You cold, Doc?" And I said, "Man, I'm about to freeze to death, man. I have no idea." Now I'm gonna give y'all something that happened that once I realized, like, you idiot. He's like, "Well, they got some chicken broth in there, in that room in there, and it's pretty hot." And I said, "Okay." So I'll go in there and get some chicken broth. Well, the comm guys was in a Humvee down about a couple 100 yards, and they were in the Humvee, and it was running because they had the radios and stuff. So I walked down there, and I said, the boys was in there, I knocked on the door, and I said, "What's up, Doc?" And I said, "Not much." I said, "Man, can I get in here with you guys?" And they said, "Yeah." So I talked to them a little bit, whatever. Then Lieutenant was supposed to be there at 0600, so walked back up there to the fire, get checked in. He come around, we talking, he's got his coffee or whatever, and he's looking at me, and he said, "How you doing, Doc?" And I said, "Oh, I'm doing good." He said, "How'd you sleep last night?" I said, "I like to froze to death." He looked at me and he said, "Do what?" I said, "I like to froze to death." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Daggone if I know, man." I said, "I've been camping my whole life. I've been skinny dipping. I've been fit. Dude, I don't know. I ain't got a clue. LT. I don't know why I froze." And he looked at me and he said, "Did you sleep naked?" I should go to sleep. It's 1:30 a.m. in Finland, and my wake up is at 6. But I'll watch. Okay. Daggone, I've been on for 97 minutes. I'll finish this right here, and then we'll wrap it up. He said, "Did you sleep naked?" And I looked at him and I said, "Hell no, I didn't sleep naked." He said, "Well, there's your problem." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Think about it. Even though it was cold all day, right? It was in the 30s in the wind chill, right?" He said, "You're walking around and you're working. What are you doing?" So I was 18, 19 at the time. He said, "You walking around, what are you doing?" "You're sweating." I was like, "Well, yeah." He said, "Okay, your underclothes, like your undergarment, your t-shirt and stuff that you got under all your gear is wet from sweat." I said, "Okay." He said, "But you're moving, so your body's building heat, so therefore you're keeping warm. But then you go in there and you in the rack, and you get in your sleeping bag, your thick sleeping bag that's rated for like 40 below zero. No way in hell you'll end this stream just passing by. Hey, hit the subscribe button and come back. I'll be live again tomorrow at 5. He says, "You have to sleep in there naked." I said, "You crazy as hell. I ain't sleeping in that thing naked." He said, "If you don't sleep in the daggone sleeping bag or down in your skivvies," he said, "you're going to freeze to death every night. You're going to be cold." I said, "Okay." He said, "Look, when you go in there to go to bed," he said, "when you go in there to go to bed, take off all your clothes, leave your skivvies, take your shirt off, and fold all your stuff up. Fold your socks up, fold your pants or your trousers, whatever you want to call them, your jacket, fold all that stuff up and put it at the foot of your sleeping bag. I said, okay. He said, so put all of it down, put it in the foot of your sleeping bag. Stand on it, zip your sleeping bag up to about your knees, sit down on the rack, on your cot, on your sleeping cot, pick your feet up, stick it into your Gore-Tex bag. I said, okay. He said, then zip it all the way up. When you get done, zip it all the way up, and then zip it over your head, and then come back, and it had a little hole like this where you can see your eyes, right? My uncle was an army. He said, put the foot. Yeah. I'm in North Carolina. I'm in the United States. So he said, you do that, and you'll be fine. And then when you get up in the morning, your clothes are going to be at your feet, which they will semi-dry because your body heat's in there. You get out, it's going to be a little cold, and you get in there. He said, if you can get your boots in there with you, put a boot on one side and a boot on the other side, your boots won't be cold in the morning when you go to put your feet in there. Damn quick draw McGraw beat me to it. And I said, okay. So that night, taps, lights out. Go in there. Sure enough, because I'm in this tent. I'm in this tent by myself. There's nobody else in there with me. So I find whatever. Get down to my skivvies, or get down with skivvies, take everything off, do it, fold up, put it in there. Dude, I slept like a bug in a rug. Now, when getting up in the morning when they call it rarely get a little cold because you're going to get up and got to get out in that brisk air. And I'm not talking about brisk like iced tea. I'm talking about brisk like cold. And then it was all good. So, man, we was only going to be on there for 30 minutes. I've been on there for 100 minutes, and I got to meet a whole bunch of people. I got to meet Owen, Alpha, Caden Adventures, Jason Pepper, Savory, Atrocity 420, Big Fish is on here. Who else is on here? AD18, Carlos is on here. Nine Fingers Wrenching, Carlos. Who else on here? Same. Hassan Ben's on here. Big Fish. JG was on here. I think he stepped out. Who else is on here? Ray was on here. I think that's about it. Guitar Shop from UK was on here. Jeffrey was on here. KC was on here. Squiggly Miggly. I didn't even see that. Gifted a membership. Man, I appreciate that. Laura was on here. Just Be Frank was on here. Some guy from Saudi Arabia was on here. Man, I appreciate every single body on there. Strawberry Shortcake was on here, and Angel was on here, and SS Dorman. So, I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to get off here. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch before sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out.